and welcome. I'm Roseanne and I'm a yoga teacher around Manchester. So this sequence is guiding you through your practice, but also you won't need a mat. I'm going to use a mat just because I have one, but you don't need a mat and you won't need any props, and it's aimed to be accessible even for those that have never done yoga before. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and start, and we'll start standing. Nice. So as we arrive into standing position, if you do have a mat, please feel free to use it, and if you don't worry. We're just going to take our feet about hip width apart, and then we're just going to bring one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the chest. If it feels comfortable to, feel free to close down your eyes. As we just take a moment to arrive, having that physical contact with our body. The hand on the chest, the hand onto the belly. And just maybe notice here your breath. Deep breath into the belly. Feeling the belly gently just press into the hand. And breathing out, just feeling that sense of the lungs emptying softly. So if you can, we just start to connect to a longer breath in and a longer breath out. A signal to our nervous system that we're signaling to come into a space of rest and digest, a space of calm and relaxation. And don't worry if you don't feel it straight away. This is a pathway that for some of us may be foreign, that we do have to work towards and practice to feel that sense of relaxation. But just signaling to our body here as we take deeper breaths in and deeper breaths out, that we're arriving, that we're slowing down to give our body what it needs today. Remembering that every time that we come to practice is a new and different time, a new and different day. So it will feel different. So honor where you're at today as we take another breath here. Nice. And as we arrive, feel free to bring the hands together, palms together, and just take a moment to arrive and set the intention that in this space today, I am present, fully present with my body, just to give it what it needs. And if I don't know what it needs, we just move and explore. A time of self-care, just giving back to ourselves, as we can't pour from an empty cup. And it's the same principles that we can't give to others when we feel empty or drained. So as we arrive, we'll just circle those arms out and up. Maybe start to open the eyes if they were closed, and exhale, just bring those hands down. Nice, going to do two more. Inhale, circle the arms up. And exhale everything out. One more in your own pace. Nice. From there, just taking a few shoulder shrugs up and down. Maybe you take them into circles. Nice. And then from there, just keeping the shoulders down. I'm just going to tip the head over to the right side. And maybe that's already feeling enough. Just notice if those shoulders are creeping up, keeping them drawn down. And then from there, just start to reach your left arm out. We're just going to wriggle the fingertips. Just notice how when we wriggle those fingertips, it starts to just maybe change sensations within the neck, within the arm, maybe within the chest, the shoulder joint area. And then in this space, you might start to inhale, reach the arm up, and then bring that hand down. So you're going to explore that range of movement that feels good for you. Making sure that we're active through the fingertips, so we're not just swinging the arm up and down. We want to actively engage full presence with the body. Inhale, arm up. Exhale, hand draws back down alongside the body. So that might mean that your range of motion is just up to the shoulder. It might mean that it goes a lot higher. Listen to what feels good for your body as we nourish by moving with breath. One more breath here. Nice. Gently come back through center. Maybe just again take a few shoulder shrugs or shoulder rolls. And then tipping the head over to the other side. Notice if the shoulders are creeping up, feel free to stay there. Or feel free to start to spread those fingertips out and then again, just wriggle the fingertips. Maybe start to bring that movement up as we breathe in and down as we breathe out. Again, just notice how the sides may feel very different. Breathing here. Nice, and then the next time that the hand comes down, we'll stay there. Give the shoulders a little shrug, nice, and then from there, I'm just going to walk to the top end of my mat. For those that have a mat, feel free to do so. For those that don't, just facing a space where you can have space behind you and forward. From there, we're going to sweep those arms up. If it feels good, we start to squeeze our glutes, reaching up. Maybe you arch back a little. Exhale, we're going to reach forward and down. Hands are going to come onto the shins. If that feels good for you, keep your legs straight. If not, you bend the knees. We inhale. Think about reaching that chest forward. And then as you breathe out, we're going to bring the hands down. So do bend your knees. Step the feet back. If it feels okay, you're here in a plank position. Shoulders stack on top of wrist. If it doesn't, you bring the knees down. One more breath there. Nice, and then from there, we're just going to bring ourselves through to all fours, tabletop. So that's knees hip width apart, knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders, fingertips spread into the floor, hands about shoulder width apart. That's it. From there, we inhale, we're going to drop the belly, and then the tailbone lifts. So just noticing that arch in my back there. So if you can, you're arching your back, and it may look different. We all have different tension in our bodies look different. So the intention is to draw the belly down, tailbone lifts, and then see if we can draw the chest open, leading forwards. Shoulders drawn down away from the ears, we're looking forward. And we're breathing there. Maybe it feels good. You might gently wriggle side to side. Nice, and maybe your next exhale, we start to tuck the chin in. Push through the hands, around the back, draw the belly button in and really get to scoop that tailbone under as well. So think about that back space of your body. Rounding there, and again, if it feels good, maybe you wriggle the hips side to side. Maybe you explore where there's just pockets of tension in your body. And do feel free to take that at that pace, or if you want to do it with breath, inhale, we drop the belly. Broaden the chest, we look forward. And then as we breathe out, we tuck the chin in, round the back, draw the belly button in. So don't worry if you're getting confused with the breath. It definitely takes practice, as maybe we're not consciously or used to consciously breathing. So maybe if you're getting a bit confused with the breath, you just take your time just to breathe and move into each pose, cat and cow. Or if you are moving with breath, inhale, we're expanding that front space, cow pose. Exhale, round the back to cat pose. And there's no rush, we're just going to take one more round there. Nice, and then from there, we're then going to bring the hands up, just so that we can step that right foot forward. We're going to find ourselves into a lunge position. If this feels very uncomfortable for your knee, feel free just to pop a cushion underneath there. Likewise, I'll give you an option to bring the knee lifted. But from there, we're just going to bring the palms together or hands down to frame the feet. But just notice if it feels too constricted here, then you bring the palms together. If you don't want to use a cushion and it really hurts your knee, feel free to bring the hands down, lift the back knee up. You might again have the hands frame the feet, or maybe you have the palms together to go up into high lunge. Whichever option you're in, knee stacks on top of the ankle. We're breathing there. Just really feeling our way through that hip space area. Nice. And take your time. Your next exhale, we're going to bring ourselves down, hands down, step that foot back. And then this time again, lift our hands up, left foot forward. And again, just finding your space here. Left foot forward. If you do feel quite unbalanced, do check in with your foundations of it. So think about that front leg in line with your hip. The back leg also in line with your hip. So maybe sometimes your foot comes in a bit and then you'll feel unbalanced. So you want to think about your legs being hip width apart, so extending forward and back. And again, options, palms at the center, hands on the ground, back knee lifted or cushion underneath that knee, high lunge. You're just going to find a space that works for you. And we're breathing there just again, checking in with that hip space area. Nice. And your next exhale, hand comes down, and then we're just going to bring that foot back in. We want to make our way into child's pose, and this feels quite nice for your lower back or your back region. So entirely up to you. You might have the knees together, or you might have the knees out slightly wider. If you can, you're bringing the big toes together, and then you're just going to walk those hands forward. Option one, you might have your hands extended out. You might bend the elbows just so that you can stack the forehead on top of the forearms, just if the ground feels a bit too far away. Do not worry if your hips don't sit back onto your heels. Again, just honoring that our bodies are different. Bodies are different from person to person, and bodies are different from day to day when you practice. So find a space that works for you. And we're going to breathe here. Just noticing that back space area. Maybe noticing as we breathe a little restriction through the breath as the legs are there. Can we breathe into the side and the back space of our body? Nice, and take your time, just gently start to lift the head. If your arms are extended, start to bring them in. And we're just going to sit to the side, just so that we can swing those legs forward. And then we're going to start to bring ourselves to lie down. As we make our way to lie down, feel free to shuffle the feet, shuffle the legs, have the hands on the belly or the hands out to the side. Maybe if it feels very uncomfortable for your lower back, just feel free to bend the knees, bring the feet about shoulder width apart, and then the knees together. And that usually helps with any discomfort in the lower back, because sometimes it just doesn't feel great for our legs to be extended to lie flat on our back. So resting your hands wherever they feel comfortable. Feel free to close down the eyes if you can, and if it feels comfortable too. And just notice the points of contact that you have with the floor. Notice your breath, maybe if you have the hands onto the belly, just that gentle rise and fall. As you take a moment just to be in your body, maybe noticing how you may feel different from when we arrive, physically, mentally, emotionally. Just taking the time to tune in here. An embodied approach, which just means being in your body. Is there any areas of contraction or tension? And can we just maybe breathe out and soften those areas? So maybe letting go of the legs and the hips, letting go of the shoulders and the arms, softening the belly, and can we just relax the face, the space in between the eyebrows? What's our mind space like? Can we just maybe bring it to focus on the breath for a moment, slowing that breath in and slowing the breath out. And whenever you're ready to, we just start to bring ourselves back out and back into our day. We might wriggle fingers and toes. We might gently move the head. Feel free to extend those legs out and give yourself a big stretch. And collect those knees in. Give yourself a big squeeze. Maybe gently rock side to side or rock back and forth. However you like, just start to guide yourself up into a comfortable seat position with the hands at the center of the chest. Take a moment just to arrive back. And also thank yourselves for dedicating 15 minutes out of your day just to give back to yourself, to recharge and nourish and relax. And as we close today's practice, just taking a deep breath in, receiving the benefits of our practice. And a deep breath out, letting go of anything that no longer serves us, that no longer needs to be held within our body. Inhale, we're going to circle the arms up. Taking in what we need. Palms together. Exhale everything out that we don't need. Namaste. Welcome back, and thank you for joining practice. Thank yourselves for taking this time out for you, some self-care me time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.